Hey everyone. How you doing? Metaphysical Mama. Welcome if it's your first time visiting, and absolutely welcome back if you are recurring or revisitor. Um, I'm actually gonna read a little poem before I begin today. I used to love this poem when I was little. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And it came into my, mind this morning, and this card came out, Four of Cups. And I know a lot of us are feeling a little down and a little nervous and lots of anxiety. And there's so much chaos going on in the world. And it really is it's always difficult to, make our own decisions and not conform to the so called norm while still, right, being part of, right, or feeling like we're part of, because our natural want and desire is to be loved and accepted, right? So it's very difficult to go against what the mainstream or, right, it's peer pressure for adults. Yeah. So I'm just sending a big super 144 hug. We're on 44 in there. Out to all of you, and then share that energetic hug out to just, energetically. It's just great. And just let's spread some love and some peace and some acceptance, right? Some clean air to breathe, to take a breath, right? Permission to take a breath or two or three, both ways. Okay, so The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden, black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I ever should come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So sometimes, a lot of the time, we feel alone. We can feel like we made the wrong decision. We're in a place that we can't get out of. How is this gonna, right, work out, look, be, right? The moon messages says take time to breathe out, and conclusions are within reach. But I'm going to read. This is from the Starman Tarot, the Four of Cups. And again, thank you so much for coming to hang out. I really, really appreciate your time and your energy, and you are worth it, right? And if no one's told you, you're loved, right? And accepted as you are, right? This is a lot for us all to go through, so just keep on swimming. Just keep, right, untangling, the knots, right? The yucky thoughts and feelings that come up, right? Like this, all these knots. It's like all this, ugh. Feels like a hand is hovering over your head, right? It's like, what's going on? Oh, I moved it now. Uh-oh. Had a little balancing system going on there. Okay, so I am hurt and poisoned by life. M. Scott Peck is one of the founding fathers of personal development. His groundbreaking book, The Road Less Traveled, this is why it made me think of it also, begins with an opening sentence. Life is difficult. When I read these decades ago, it was a when I read this decades ago, it was a revelation. Here was someone else of authority admitting how tough life was. He goes on to say that once we fully understand this and accept it, life is no longer difficult. Through the process of seeing clearly and accepting what is so, we transcend it. And that doesn't mean accepting what we're being told on the media, accepting what others are saying. It means going within and knowing that all these things are going on outside of us, but what's true reigns and rings and resonates within. So this is how we go through, right? Transcension or transcending, whatever. Transmutation is the word I always use. It's like, right. I try my best to keep up with all the lingo, but there's like too many vibrational forms that we all use. So, right, like it says, 7-Eleven, and all, most anyhow, of my descriptions kindly take what resonates and leave the rest. And the more we practice that practice, we learn to, right, simplify things, not get so caught up in making decisions or feeling like we have to rush into something or else, right? Somebody else is going to get mad or we're not going to have. That's survival mode and that's fight or flight. And we should be mature enough to be able to recognize and come out of those repeat patterns, scenarios, right, etc. Right, little by little. Just keep practicing, right? Become a master of your craft. Okay. Many teachers before and since have shared this simple yet profound observation. Nevertheless, we are still simply shocked when we come face to face with the difficulty, sadness, disappointment, and loss. The plethora of challenges life serves up to us. Often we act as if life purposely torments us, working against us, gouging us, and causing us to blame others for the circumstances we find ourselves in. Feeling victimized, we then punish ourselves for not being good enough, that seed of self-contempt and misrepresentation, often born and perpetuated in childhood, and, and becomes the ill-conceived projections of floundering adults, right? Whether, and that's also what we could say is the ego or the devil, 212 and 911. Right, those are also terms and usages of words. Our ego represents our sun sign in the zodiac. So when you're physically born, that's like your license, your ID, right? It's like, okay, that's who you are, and that's what kind of separates you from, right, others. That's your individuality, so to speak. Or if we've been harmed or abused, right, like the devil or the ego comes to cover up and protect whatever, right, the inner Christ child that has been harmed, right, our inner child that's been harmed or is afraid and scared, right, then the ego slash devil comes like, wow. So it can look like somebody has a huge ego and has, right, all this, however, inside, like we just read, it's a misrepresentation, right? that's often born and perpetuated in childhood and becomes the ill-conceived projections of floundering adults, right? Fish out of water, flopping around. Thank you so much for the love. Right back at you. Too often, survival is then accomplished by not playing in the game at all. Therefore, we avoid any chance of getting hurt by not participating in life. Like a ghost watching from the sidelines. I can relate to that on a lot of levels. Like, I love to participate in life, but I can definitely like hermit or shy back, or like when it's like camera time, or just not feel like I'm part of or should be there, or like, I tell myself all these crazy things in my head. But at the same time, I question it, and it's like, am I supposed to be there? Or am I supposed to be where I am because I'm supposed to be balancing energy and holding space? And even though I'd like to go and I would love to be there with other people and do certain things right now, my energy needs to be focused on what I'm focusing on right now. So then when I do that, and then I get guided that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, I'm like, okay, then I don't feel so bad. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason that I feel that way, right? Not, but like, it's like I'm pushing then against the grain. I'm going against a magnet a little. So when we start to feel that way, just right, it's like good to tap in and like question. It's like blood pressure, like you're just getting it's like, let's just check it out, go through our thoughts and feel like, why am I feeling this way? And let's take a look at that for a second. And it's like, well, hold on, am I doing something else? And although I would like to be there, so that makes me feel not part of, or like I'm not wanted, but is that true? No, because right now I need to be where I am, or I've had to be where I've been, right? So once we can 12-12, once we can, kind of start to remember to do that a little, we don't beat ourselves up as much or feel so bad about what we did or didn't do or don't have or didn't get to see or do or be part of, and all that victimization, right? The big V, that's like the virus, right? The V, cut that shit out. Once we start talking to ourselves like that, it's all over. It's like the cartoon character. We got the bat out and we're just like donking ourselves over the head, biting our tongues. Silly. So we got to recognize that. So we don't want to ghost ourselves either. And sometimes we do it like that, right? It's like we do get too nervous and we're like, I don't know, I'm too nervous. I'm not going to be, it's like, get your butt out there. We got to talk ourselves into getting our fucking ass out there. It's like, hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3 steps forward and just make ourselves go, march, right? So sometimes we got to push ourselves through a door, right? So there's a time and a place. So having resonance, right? When is the right time? Timing is wisdom. We have knowledge. Now we're gaining awareness, being a little more consciously aware, right? And having timing, coming into divine time, synchronization, right? 1331, 1333. Okay. In the Four of Cups, a figure is crouched and despairing in a pool of thick, black, vicious liquid, right? It's like the black goo or antimatter. Auntie, their head in hand, overwhelmed by life. Can you relate to that feeling at all? Presently, it's been a lot of stuff, right? The colossal hand, remember to breathe. The colossal hand floating above the figure is from a bronze statue of the Roman Emperor Constantine, who perpetually brought an end to, the persecution of Christians during the Roman Empire. This suggests that the persecution, torment of thoughts, and past hurts can end, right? We just have to not participate in them. It's like, again, right? Children, right? Floundering adults that are scared, right? And it's like, nope, this is reacting, pointing, blaming. It's like, okay, we see what you're, right? We see that. We see what you're trying, right? And it's okay. We're not participating. It's okay. And the more we all say it's okay, it will be. We keep calming the energy and not allowing them to throw stones into the water to make ripples or cause waves. Okay. Above him, the two upturned cups pour dark misery, saturating him with woe. The same chalice which disperses the golden elixir can also spill dark misery, just like we ourselves can. Like the cup, our self is essentially clear, neutral. When our egoic false self, which has long adopted and culturally entrenched pattern of strife and the fight for survival, right? We've been in survival mode, fight or flight, for a long time, which is human conditioning, right? Chooses the supposed context, the lens which frames an event, life often becomes toxic. Our cup is filled with self-recrimination, guilt, shame, and regret, right? Coulda, shoulda, woulda, I shouldn't have got right. You never can go wrong by pause, right? Like a little kitty cat. Take a pause, lick your paws, right? Pause, take a few breaths, wait, and then, like we said, right? Like, then, right? Master reset. So we don't go running, rushing, diving into something that we don't need to. Whatever that may be, little, big, small. Our cup is filled with self-recrimination, guilt, shame, and regret, stacking the evidence we've been collecting since childhood, right? So once we start with the negative thinking and talking to ourselves and feel like, oh, how much more do we bring up? Like that just said, right? All that shit that we've been collecting since childhood. It's like a big burp. It's like, bleh, it all comes up. And then we're like, oh, forget it. We talk ourselves right out of anything and everything. So we want to stop doing that, right? 1717. And we don't want to rush ahead. So then we're like, oh my gosh, now what did I do? I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And right. So just, it's like, and if you did do that recently, it's okay. Take a breath, reset. It's not the end of the world, because this is why, right, the universe and all these things are so amazing and forgiving. Because once we say, hold on a second, and we start to take a look and go through, right, we're going to be our own self auditor, go through our shit, we start to clear the junk out, right? It's like Iron Man. We were watching that last night, and it's like when Tony had to build that, suit out of all that junk metal, all that old stuff. And at first he comes into that place and he's like throwing all the pieces that don't need to be in there. It's like, you don't need this, you don't need that, right? All these big hunky metal pieces that look like they need to be in there. And then he was able to make that Iron Man suit into, like, right, that little, which again, why are they, right? Why are we at war? What is any war for? It's always for some kind of element or something to, right? Always with toys. And that doesn't mean biologically male or female. Ever on my channel, when I say boys, girls, masculine, whatever, it's always take as it resonates and leave the rest, because we all can act out in any of these vibrations of said words, feelings, right? Like vibrations of natures, right? 222. Okay. However, should we create a new context? The cup can be filled with clear, fresh water or a golden elixir. Teacher and leadership master Werner Erhard reminds us once again, through the teachings of Socrates, that if what you experience as you is not satisfying, this is clearly not you. Self as self is complete, satisfied, fully accepting of what is, without any stories and drama, right? Once we have to start getting like talked into or like convinced, or it's like, well, this is what and then it's like, wait, whoa, that's your key, your goal, your flag right there, right? And like, God isn't confusing, right? Confucius. So anything it's like, I don't know, if I start getting confused, hold on a second, right? The Four of Cups suggests that you recreate the context of your life so that you can fully receive its blessings. You no longer need to carry the point of view of living life as a problem. Even though it seemed so real, so uncomfortable, there is much to be grateful for, right? And that's how we absolutely, anytime we can come back into, right, a higher vibration. When things are scary, it seems like the end of the road. It's so uncomfortable and so real. Okay, let's breathe and find 3 things to be grateful for, right? I was able to brush my teeth today and get up and go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, and look in the mirror and smile. Or maybe I didn't look in the mirror, right? I'm able to, right, change my clothes and choose my outfit, right? I have so many things to be grateful for. I can give somebody I love a hug. I can breathe. I have a beautiful candle that I have lit. Right? It's like little things. I can find so many little things I can be grateful for, right? I have a beautiful friend. You know, I have many friends, but I have a beautiful friend that's gonna go stay with her daughter for a bit, so I won't see her for a while. So I'm gonna miss her, and I'm so grateful for her and her little dog too, right? And the relationship that I've been able to gain with her, and you know, for her struggles and my struggles that we've been able to help one another with, you know, together while we've, you know, personally been in the same, right, vicinities and right, living spaces, et cetera, and see each other all the time. And now we won't, right? So it's like I'm so grateful for the time I have with anyone that I'm briefly or been intertwined with in my past or what have you. It's like I've had so many amazing experiences, relationships, right? Just little meetings, right? Hellos and goodbyes and like right, like run into people different, so many different walks of life, and it's like I I learned so much. Okay, even though it seemed so real, so uncomfortable, there's much to be grateful for. The Four of Cups can hold fresh, sparkling waters, should you choose. Emotion, the motion of energy through you can be seen for what it is without the story. Accept those difficult feelings or sensations and let them pass through you. When we become a curious observer, we can open to something new. Before the point of view created you, now you create the point of view, right? We can see things from so many different perceptions. Don't get stuck in a narrow-minded one, like one or two or this or that or one, two, three, right? It's like there's so many infinite possibilities. So don't cut yourself short, right? Allow your tree of life, allow yourself to bear more fruit. That's not, oh, it's this, and they said it's that, so now we have to, blah. Whoa, 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 wait a minute, how many colors are there? We can't even name them all. It's like, yeah, how many blends, how many, right? There's so many. Okay, rebuild your life to receive blessings. Be grateful for what is around you. Emotional overwhelm. And if it was reversed, it's feeling remain trapped in your mind's false stories, stuck in a rut. Life is a long complaint. Reversed, remain trapped in the stories your mind creates. Always dissatisfied. Life is one long complaint. No possibility of creating a new viewpoint. I know people that talk like that are like that. And no matter how positive I am, I try to I'm like, hey, da da da, hey, da, da. It's like, yeah, that'll never happen. Yeah, whatever. Right? Negative Nellies. So that is very toxic. We can only take so much of that. And it makes us sick too, because we have to keep resetting ourselves and right, breathe and then reforming our natural atoms, our crystals, our molecular structure within. Every time anybody says any negative vibration, if I'm in a nice state of mind, I'm nice and clear. And then I start to hear another's negative talk or put something on, if I put the television on, or I tell a negative vision, television, then I'm going to not feel so good. It's like I'm going to start to not feel, or if I'm around someone that's toxic and negative and start feeling all doom and gloom and anger and resentment and blame. It's like, I'm not going to want to be around that person or in that environment too long. It's like I'll tolerate it and I'm very adaptable, but do I want to be in that? Absolutely not. And do I have to be in that? Absolutely not. And should I force myself to be in that because I care about people, places, and things? Right? Absolutely not. Right? It's like there's a certain tolerance, patience, and threshold. And then if it starts making us more sick than we're helping, then we have to detach with love and continue forward, right? Or remain neutral and keep clearing until we have the ability to move in a different direction. But we don't have to feel pressed, rushed, right? Like we're given an ultimatum or else. All these old fight or flight survival mode, patriarchal ways of forceful obligation and contracts. They don't serve us and they just cause confusion, illusions, dis-ease, war, greed, gluttony, the desire for more. And then we wonder why everyone's sick and on medication and drugs. And look at how many people we've lost in the last few years. I mean, there's a lot of people that are being, removed from the earth. So there's many things happening, all at once. It just, and there's so many different timelines converging. And timelines meaning, right, different. Say, picture a big pie in your head, like a color wheel. And it's like all these different beings are in these different colors due to the nature of the emotional vibration that they're in, right? That we're all in. And the thought process, because this gets into like hermetic law. So, right, the law of attraction and, right, like attracts like. Before it used to be opposites attract. Now, right? Now, we've gone through all those different modes. Now we're coming together to blend and alchemize, transmute, and balance. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, so the name of the game is really, transmute and balance. Balance is key, 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 key. If you're holding a scale, right, you're the middle and you have to balance out both sides, right, with your left and your right hand, right, or your left and your right foot, or however you want to look at it, right? The left and the right have to be balanced, symmetrical, balanced, even. We can't just, right, do it left hand, right hand, red, blue, black, white. Wrong, right, day, night. Ah. I got playfulness. Isn't that beautiful? I am so shaky lately. Look at that. I was like, I mean, I just exaggerated a little there, but I'm very like, that's like the inner core of the earth is like, it's like gung, 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 gung. This is so much. That's how my head feels too. I assure you, the only thing I put in my body other than like water and coffee and tea is marijuana. Like experiencing, and look, this just backs up that 4 of Cups too. Right, it's kind of like next to a tree. Kind of a little melancholy, but not necessarily. It's just kind of, again, taking the time to go in. So it's not like, oh, happy. It's not necessarily anything. It's just is what it is, and remain neutral, and we go through it, and that's how we do it. Let's see. Do we want to pull any other cards? Looking around at my decks here. Let's pull an animal spirit and a goddess. We'll pull an animal spirit and a goddess card. Where you at, aminals? Animals. I got them. I got them. Bear with me, y'all. I appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, and in your own personal life, as far as the collective, what's going on, just watch your words. Parrot spirit. There you go. Watch your words. We couldn't have had a better, right? Your thoughts, the words others are saying, the ones you're listening to, right? You know that old saying, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, right? So we'll put him there. And on the bottom of the deck, we got the Bobcat spirit. And there's a 45, so we can simplify that to a 9. So it has the vibrations of 4 and 5 and 9. And this is Bobcat. Life is a mystery. And that's a number 8. So, right? Fierce. However, look, it's like calm. Just going through what it has to go through. Yeah. And look, trust in the magic. White Raven, 66. Transformation is beautiful. And there's a number 11. There's a power number. Bam, bam. And a goddess card. Let's see. What goddess for our subconscious soul collective wants to either give us a message or let us know she's given us love and unconditional love and energy, maybe guiding. Oh, there we go. Oh, yee, another 54. Well, 45, excuse me. 45 was the parrot, and oh no, 51, excuse me. 51, the sun. Yee. It's like we were just talking about, the cup can be, right, the golden chalice. It doesn't have to be right. You don't want your body, your cup full of polluted water. Right? So let's purify our waters and drink from the golden chalice, right? Put some star elementals in our cup, right? Allow your elementals that you are, all these beautiful rays of colors and vibrations, to come in. That's Christ consciousness from within. Empowerment message. When you shine your light into the world, you will attract various people and experiences that match or challenge your commitment to being empowered. Right now, you are receiving information to know which choice to make, which opportunity to take, and which person to trust. The Aboriginal Australian sun goddess, Yi, illuminates your path with her rays and brings clarity as she shows you what you need to know. A bright light also attracts a lot of bugs. So no, my candle just popped. It's like, you're hiding my flame. A bright light also attracts a lot of bugs. So you know that you may also attract those who see themselves smaller as a result of your empowerment, right? And then we're going to get challenged. And there's always like anybody that's ever made it has gone through massive struggles in order to make it, right? Nothing is ever simple. And if it was, would we appreciate it? So appreciate the journey and know how strong, amazing, and loved, and right, and able you are, and loved and accepted unconditionally, right? Doesn't mean we tolerate each other's behaviors and etc. And it's like, oh yeah, everybody, no. That's not what that means. It means we accept ourselves from within and we keep working on ourselves. And I don't hold a grudge or resentment or what have you, right? It's like we're all learning more discernment of when not to, who, right, to be around, who not to, right? And sometimes we have to be around someone that is going to challenge us. We can't avoid a challenge. We don't want to avoid people and judge them and say, oh, I'm better than him or they're better than me. A lot of the time we get put in these situations, again, like what we're reading now, so that we can gain empowerment and more knowledge of thyself or patience or whatever have you, right? Question: when you start to feel frustrated, like, why do I have to keep being around this person? Or why do I keep having this experience, right? And then ask for clarity, right? So it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be learning a lesson here or helping. Maybe I'm learning this so then I can help someone else, or I'm seeing the opposite side of myself that I haven't really known, or maybe brings up some fear in me, right? And it doesn't mean I am that. It just means that that energy or that vibration either needs me to accept it, right? And let it swim by as is, right? It's like, okay, well, I don't have to engage with you, but I can let you be you. And right, like driving by people on the highway, right? It's like we're not all friends as we're all driving next to one another, but we respect staying in one another's lanes best we can, right? And we give each right. There's a language that goes on unspoken as we are all driving our vehicles, right? Or whatever have you. So just as an example, right? It's like put things into perspective and then they're not as much of a big deal. All right. All you can do is be incandescent and joyful, kind and truthful, and the world will begin to reflect that goodness back to you. The goddess Yi is happy to help you shine. Oh, I missed a line too. This is conditioning that needs to be healed in many people in the world. Right on. Alignment message. Sometimes the light shines too bright and too hot for you to achieve your aims. Although the sun is bright, getting too close to its fire will risk everything burning to the ground. Do you really want to know all that is hidden from you right now? Are you ready to face the harsh light of illumination that rips open your old ideas and shows you what else is possible? Right? It's like when I think about that too, I was saying that to my friend last night or the night before we were talking. And yeah, it's like, right, sometimes success is our fear. Or it's like, I don't need to know everything and I don't need to know too much. I just need to know what I need to know right now. I don't need to push anything. So it's like when I gather, right, we're hunters and gatherers. So when I gather information and allow information to come into me, right, like a wave, right? We're tuning into different frequencies. Then I know, right? It's like then I kind of go rabbit hole jumping, right? Then I know what I'm being led to next. And sometimes what I think I'm going to look for or look into ends up taking me, just one word takes me into a whole nother, it's like a whole nother spectrum of something I had no idea about or I would not have expected it to. So like that, right? Not expecting that we know, and I don't need to know because again, right? We fly too close to the sun. We don't, too much information at once can be very damaging. And that's like, representation too, or descriptive of the fallen ones coming into the daughters of men, right? Anything too much, we don't want to do that to ourselves, and we don't want to do that to anybody else. Push too much, want too much, expect too much, right? It's like, yeah, ripping open. Yeah, and then you can't come back. Like once you see, you can't unsee. So there's no rush, right? There's no race, right? There's no finish line, right? And then the race wars too. I mean, that's what it's like. There ain't no race. Where's a war? What's a race for? We're all humanity is one, right? Earth Gaia is a living, vibrating, conscious being, right? If you look at Gaia also as, right, it's like that's your mother, your sister, our friend, right? The earth, our daughter, our friend, our mother, our sister, all the beautiful things that are produced throughout, right? All of these things, the air, the waters. Look, we have rivers and lakes and oceans and streams and mountains, and like, look at all the different things that like walk upon them, crawl in them, grow, swim, fly. It's like we don't even know. There's so much we don't know right here. We have such, right, there's so much to explore. It's like opening the doors to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, right? So ignore all they're saying about, not ignore, but again, these are repeat narratives, and it's kind of like, pardon my French, it's kind of like a fart that's lingering that we're all having to smell and taste. And it's like, okay, bleh, okay, bleh. Like we respect that that's like, you know, a natural occurrence, but do you have to keep eating shit so that you keep like, right, releasing, yeah, or that's okay, but like I'm just gonna remove myself from the equation for now. All right, I'm gonna take cover. All right, do you really want to know all that's hidden from you right now? Are you ready to face the harsh light of illumination that rips open your old ideas and shows you what else is possible, right? The matrix belief system cracking our nut open. Your alignment task is to be bold and brave, right? Like the bobcat. Don't shrink away. You guys remember Shrinky Dinks? They're like wax things. We'd color them and then put them in the oven, and then they would shrink on a cookie sheet and be all small, right? Don't shrink away. Know that this is all part of the process of evolution that calls forth the bright sunlight to show you the shadows so you cannot escape your own denial. Oh, that's so good. I did a video about denial and acceptance yesterday. And I didn't do it live, so it'll be uploading tomorrow. I think I posted it for 8 o'clock p.m. I don't know. It's just whatever I did. So tomorrow at 8, if you want to check that out, having it like that's a big thing, right? Denial, and the delta, right? And the Euphrates and the Tigris, and right, the tigress, tiger style. Allow the truth to burn through your defenses. Then you will be able to be set free. When the sun goddess Yi comes with her bright light, it is a day of reckoning that will lead only to miracles. Woo woo. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have Miss Beautiful Rhino. Overcome any obstacles. And another, well, 50, another number 5. 5 and the feminine. That's why I said Miss. Oh, little pretty flowers. I believe rhinoceroses, if I'm not mistaken, are also vegan. Hippopotamus is gorilla, elephant, horse, right? All these big muscle animals, right? And they eat leaves, plants. Some might eat some bugs. Anyhow, I so appreciate you coming to hang out. And, you know, just keep swimming and kindly like, subscribe, and ding the little belly bell so that you can get notified when I post something up here. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I appreciate you hanging out, like I said. Vibe high, Soul Tribe. All these comments of, I can't even get them off my thing. It's so frustrating. All right. Sorry, there's some unwanted comments. I don't mind comments, but these are like AI, whatever robot things, and I have no idea even how to get them out of here. So I'm going to have to like work on that one. But if you'd like to comment, share, like, subscribe, I appreciate, and I will see you next time. Thanks, Soul Tribe. One love.